I'm Stephen Jeffrey with Momentum Climbing, and today I'm going to set a really nice problem with the Simply pitches from Atomik. I really like these holds for the simple fact that they're simple. The shapes are basic, but I got multiple sizes, full hands, narrower ones. Today I'm going to be setting on a nice wall. It's not super steep, so the way I can change my problem in the grades, I can make big wide moves, little narrow moves, get those power in there, get that technical issues in there as well. The wall, I'm psyched. For this problem, I've decided I'm in a commercial setting. I'm going to set a very nice commercial style climb, user-friendly for everyone, with really nice flow. So people use it as a circuit style of climbing. This style of climbing people really dig. It's a problem you can do over and over and you really enjoy how it goes. Sometimes I do start with start hold. That's just how it goes. And then I just get a nice skeleton up and then I'll modify my line. And so we'll just start. After I kind of get a start, I want this problem to really flow. Consistency is what makes flow more than anything. The problem's consistent through the whole way out. It'll have a nice character of that. I can make that character any way I want. I can take these really bad pinches, or I can take these better pinches and make it a little more user-friendly for everyone. When I put holds on with the volumes, it kind of helps me break up and create more movement how I want it. Like I want the body to move. I just don't want tic-tacky ladder stuff. I really want the whole body to move through this problem. So when I'm setting up my holds, it's like, really getting that body to twist around. But when I put holds on, I don't fully tighten it. I like to really get it, to create that really good, comfortable consistency. I like to really make sure it's right where I want it. I always backtrack after every move I put on. So it's like, I put this move in, it's go back to the next move. How easy is it obtainable to skip, which way to go. I always double backtracking myself on moves I want to do. I can carry it all the way across, I can carry it really far. But keep this inconsistency with these moves. I'll keep it nice, light, cruising through. My surface area is a little smaller here. I got a nice angle so they can get a really good amount of purchase out of a hold. So I'll try to pick something pretty slopey, kind of not too juggy. If I go too big, then it gets in and out of difficulty. I want to keep it that nice flow to this thing. To get some of that excitement out of this line, making people feel like they're flying a little bit, I'll put in this big move through here. Make sure I get that right where I always want it, because I can. Typically like how this hold's working out for me. Little adjustments to it, I can get a little more purchase on it. I like to kind of hide holds around little corners. When I use my ladder a lot, I really like to make sure my ladder is right where I'm at my moves. That way I'm really in there. I'll change things up quite a bit here. I never pinhole myself into one idea. I'll really keep an eye out, change my ways, not be so stubborn. I'll go back a move, make sure doing it a little different. I'm gonna make them do what I want them to do to the best I can. And I'll put another nice little chucking move in here. Keeps that whole flow throughout the line. So you may notice I haven't put any footholds on yet. For me, I'll put my whole hand sequence on, then I'll put my footholds on. So I'll do a lot of hand sequencing first. Then when I add my feet throughout, I can lower feet, raise feet, add hundreds of feet, or add 4 feet, and really get what I'm trying. If I really want to get those jumping, crossing moves, I'm not going to put as many feet. But also if I'm in a commercial setting where I really need to hit my grades, I'll I'll use the footholds to kind of get there. I can adjust, add more footholds, take footholds away. I don't necessarily want to ruin my sequence of my line. I really want to make sure my line is what I want, and then the footholds help a lot with that. Safety is a big thing with it. As a setter, you want to make sure people enjoy your line, but aren't terrified of it, but terrified enough to where, you know, they get that excitement out of it. But for commercial gym standpoints, you want to make sure your crux is not the top. This is just a golden rule I do for myself. I want people to really enjoy what they're doing, and I mean, no one wants to get hurt. When I'm up higher, I'll really be cautious of making sure I'm not putting the climber in situations where they're spinning around too crazy. I try to make sure the fall lines are clean, there's nothing to hit, especially when I put on all these volumes. I just want to make sure it's a nice, clean landing. I'll carry a few selections up the ladder with me so I'm not up and downing, and 3 varying sizes of holds. Saves me time, and it keeps it in that safe zone. What I want. I want to make sure I have the best holds for me. Now this gets a little narrow for me. So the rest of the problem is pretty wide. So, you know, just move it around until I find that spot that I'm really looking for. Ooh, and then nice spot feet. One more move and we're at the top. So for my final move, like I said, it's not going to be anything close to the crux. Just simple exit move. My wall here in our gym is plenty tall, so we have plenty of climbing to get in there. So I'll just do something pretty simple. I mean, I don't gonna do anything super scary. Kind of make sure that they just know it's over. As these moves are, it's filling in at a light V5, so I'll probably try to keep it at that grade. But if I need a different, you know, I'll move around. When I'm picking my footholds, I like these Atomik footholds because they have really positive sides and not so positive. So I can make my grade of my boulder problem a little bit easier determining the body tension. When a foothold's worse, the climber's gonna have to use more body tension to keep it on. I just turn it over and it's good. Also, putting these footholds on at the top, I like to keep them a little bit better, keeps that surprise foot slipping out on them. And when it's at this height, I like to keep it in control more. But also when you put my footholds on, I have to be super careful because sometimes they're pretty good and people will just grab them. Keeping this one nice and slopey because I got the angle of the volume out. Don't want anyone to grab it. I mean, temporary little intermediates is fine with me because real rock allows that. I'll double check, get up, set up, look at that foot, and then decide, okay, that's good. A golden rule for me when I put my footholds on is people are like, oh, things are reachy. Oh, that's reachy, this is reachy. For me, I'll put the foothold kind of right where my eye sees it, but typically I can move it up a little bit because my head, tall people can step higher, short people can't step lower. So the golden rule is to put it up one. So with these simple pinches, Atomik has done some where it's shaved off on one side, but it's dualed on the same side. So I picked this hold here to when I catch this, the smaller ones, especially like the little 8-year-olds, they can come in and stop before they do that cross. So the hold can serve 2 purposes. It's not just one-time shot grab. So this hold can do that. Put the footholds on. I do want this move to be pretty dynamic, but I will favor the climber with a more positive foothold, and then they can really let it rip to get there. Double check. Find that foot. Stab. It's gonna be might be a little bit too wild. That's what Forerunning's for. So this move, In my mind, going through, this is the only move I'm gonna question, and I'm gonna pass and keep going. The only reason I'm gonna question and pass, keep going, because commercial settings to be quick, clean. So I'll pass through here because it seems a bit aggressive, and then I'll have options in my head. I can make this hold bigger. You know, I can add a foot out here to cause it to be more of a drop knee than the jump through. But I'll keep on passing by that move and moving on to the next bit. So continue on, we'll go back a few moves here. Through this section, there's a lot of options that could happen that I need to prevent. One major option is going up and just grabbing this hold first and matching on it. This is where the footholds come in handy. If I put this foothold for the next moves higher, they can't get their feet up high enough to get that gas stone. It's just too bunchy. But if I keep the foot low, they can just float out to that hold. So this section I'll work through, and I really want to keep that foot in this lower spot. If I put a foot in here, you know, to make it that advantage, the gas stone will come into play. This handhold's hidden away, so it's not a very good foothold. So they'll do the jump all the way through. And then when catching it, I like that really nice swinging foot. And when you do seem to catch it, and you look, there it is. The foot will be right where it's at. This is creating that really nice, consistent commercial style climbing. Good for training. This is where I was saying earlier where these atomic footholds work really well with having the slopier side or the more positive side. When I'm down in here to put this foot on, I'll put the slopier side so it's harder for that climber to get that grab onto this foothold. If I have it over here on the positive side, they can really get their foot up on there and dig it in there, and then they can avoid my move. So I'll go with the slopier side, it keeps that body tension. Now when they try to do this move this way, it's a little bit on the slopier side. Then it's just instigating that person just to be like, forget it, go the easy way. When I do my start, I typically always like to have 2 feet on to start at a certain grade. Harder grades, 1 foot on to start, it's fine. I like the 2 because when I'm training or, you know, it kind of has a good feel-good start. I don't want people to be like, oh, and then have to try to get on the wall. So I'll be like, oh, you know, and it's really simple. I mean, if you have the feet, why not put it on? And then that way the climber can really just establish themselves on the first move. The start hold, I'm not super psyched about. So it's okay to, this is where, like I say, I pre-forerun before I even get on it. I turn it around, I like it a little better. Once I have my skeleton, the boulder problem to me is about 90% finished. I'll do a little double checking with my T-handle, making sure everything's tight. Nothing worse than spinners, especially if you're a setter, all your gym staff, and just customer service base. You don't want to have anything spinning on them, being loose. If your gym allows you, put a set screw in. Typically on holds, you can really get some weight on there, leverage on it. I'll give them all a little double checker, grab my chalk bag and my shoes, go through, chalk up the holds, and give it a run. So now I'm 90% done with my line. I'll put my shoes on, give it a little forerunning. In the forerunning, that's when I really pick up those little last 10% to finish off my line. I'll go through it move by move. I technically won't actually do my whole boulder problem, but I'll just go through and fill out the moves. So I'll fill out my start. It's nice and comfortable. Little start move. And then I'll be like, oh, that's good. I'll double check to make sure the skip is harder. Little double check, okay. Then I'll move on to the next move. Coming in, I'll find this is a little too powerful for my grade. That's when I'll make an adjustment. The foot could be too high, add another foot. You know, I grab my footholds, I'll lower this one. I'll keep it on the bad side to keep that tension. And then I'll just add this other. Then I'll give that move another little fill and run there. Yeah, I like the position. I'm nice and bald. Get that move in there. And then this. My gas stone, that bad foot. Feet are hard to get in. Can't match it. But then that move seems a little bit long. come in. Feel that. Never assume that you're just the authority of your route. That move seems huge, but we'll leave it. But also I noticed when I did actually catch it, I was pretty out. It was really hard to get that foot out. I'll just add another one. For the sake of saving energy, skin, I'll just jump right in the middle of my problem. Just filling out those moves. So I'll get my large move. Now I can get that foot a little closer. Do my fall in. I can push off here. Now I got 2 feet to set up for the cross. Now this move I seemed a bit out there, but I can really squat on there. And then it lightens up for that safer finish. It's pretty good. So the second opinion, you always have a friend, you know, your person you're setting with, have them go through your line. Don't give them any information about it. You can surely see how someone will read what you set. Different size people help. They can really fill out moves for you. And then you can test that length. That move, still a little on the large side, but we still have the hard cross. So I think we're okay with the large move there. If the climber climbs at 95% of what I intended, it's a perfect boulder problem to me.